I got it. Here we go. Ready? Why did you have to do that? You went cross-eyed.
That's how it looks.
And it's only rated PG-13, so even the kiddies can watch. Buy the new Robocop on Blu-ray DVD today. Well, hey!
Man, I'm tired of movies biting from the 80s.
Yeah, they're ruining all the classics.
Karate Kid, Footloose, and now Robocop? This movie has wrong written all over it. This doesn't look as cool as the first Robocop, and I'm sure they got the voice wrong too. Nothing like the original. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Stay out of trouble.
Dude.
Come with me if you want to live.
Whoa. First of all, Robocop never said that. And secondly, you're totally doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. You just quoted him from Terminator 2.
Oh, well, that's a common mistake, I'm sure.
I'm sure it isn't.
But still, that's what Hollywood should do. Instead of making remakes, just combine the franchises. Like a Robocop vs Terminator movie. There's plenty of source material, like comics or the video games.
But which game? The Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis?
The better game, of course.
Well, how do we know which game that is?
Robocop is the franchise following police officer Alex Murphy, who was mortally wounded in the line of duty, but was then converted into a cyborg named Robocop. With his new cyborg body, Robocop battled both violent crime and corruption. Terminator is a franchise about battles between Skynet's artificial intelligence network and John Connor's resistance forces. Both franchises continue today with their own respective reboots.
Before these reboots, in the early 90s, a 4-issue comic book crossover of Robocop vs. Terminator was written by Frank Miller, the same man who gave us Dark Knight Returns and Sin City. Video games were adapted for the Game Gear and Game Boy, but the games we're looking at are the ones released for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Which one's better? Let's find out.
Super Nintendo's graphics are going to bump you up!
Everyone's looking great on Super Nintendo. Characters from Robocop and Terminator all look sharp. Levels based on both franchises also have a nice, distinct look from one another. They get grittier and grittier as you progress, and you can't beat this fluid animation. There's also a 3D level pushing the limits of what 16 bits can do.
Just check out Sega's graphics.
Sega has the look of these characters down to a T. It not only has more characters from the franchises, but they look better too. And it's got plenty of level variety. It's also got some smooth animation.
You honestly think that's better than Super Nintendo?
First off, your levels are pretty boring. It's not as colorful as Super Nintendo. Pretty dull. And your animation? Sure, it's fluid, but is Robocop on crack or something? How's he moving that fast?
Robo-crack.
And there's no 3D either. Super Nintendo has 3D.
Now that's barely 3D.
Sure, you move in 3D, but that's about it. The buildings are 2D and the enemies look 2D. Even Jurassic Park has better 3D graphics. And funny you should mention the colors, because SNES's colors make it look cartoony, while Sega's colors make it look more realistic. More like the movies. And another way Sega's more like the movies is blood. This game is loaded with it right off the bat. Look at that splatter. And once again, Super Nintendo doesn't have any blood at all. It's okay though, because it has you shooting lots of women instead. Lots. Okay. The more realistic and bloody look everyone loves, graphics go to Sega.
You may have won graphics, but Super Nintendo's gonna beat you in presentation.
Hey guys,
Who are you?
I'm a Terminator from the future.
Wow. Wait a second. We've been tricked before. How do we know you're telling the truth?
Simple. Robots never lie.
Is that one of the robot laws?
It sounds like a robot law.
I'll simply prove it. Behold, my cybernetic Terminator eyes.
Those are not cyborg eyes.
Yeah, definitely not. You do look like you have pink eye though.
Is that what this is? Oh god, I got to get to the doctor.
What was that?
Well, as I was saying, Super Nintendo went all out for its presentation.
This game is loaded with cutscenes. Lots of them. You got your intro, ending, and various cutscenes between levels. It's stylized really cool to look like a comic book, one panel at a time. Your title card and game over screen looks pretty sweet too.
Just wait till you see Sega's presentation.
Well, you got your intro, and then you have your ending. The title card and game over screens look pretty sweet too.
That's it?
Once again, Sega, you plague us with the task to read all that text. Not one cutscene in between any levels. Not even one measly picture. This is an easy win. With barely any effort on Sega's cutscenes, presentation goes to Nintendo.
Super Nintendo is loaded with good music.
Levels are hard rock and electronic. It goes along well with the action. Cutscenes capture a somber mood. It's perfect for this morbid future.
That music's not as good as Sega's.
Sega also has rock and electronic music. It also has some groovy tunes. The cutscene music is awesome. This is the type of music you need to get through an action game.
I still think mine's better.
What? Mine's so much better. You're just
Your
jealous.
music would be
I think there's
good for
something wrong with
jumping
you
in a
here. It's a little
nightclub,
embarrassing.
snorting a
Time
line
to go
of
back to the
coke.
top.
Hey guys,
Oh, great. Another one.
you might not believe this, but I am a
Terminator from the future, right?
Yeah, you're not the first one today, buddy.
Can you even prove you're a Terminator?
Why?
Because, I don't know, you might be tricking us.
Why?
Because you want to mess with us?
Why?
Are you seriously gonna keep doing that?
Enough chit chat. I'll just prove it. Behold, as I cut through my skin and reveal my robotic exoskeleton.
At least he was committed? Let's compare sound effects.
Two things that happen a lot in these games are explosions and gunfire, and they both sound better on Sega. Super Nintendo sounds weak. And other than women screaming, Super Nintendo doesn't have voiceovers, but Sega does.
You're terminated. Excellent.
Terminator.
With an excellent soundtrack and effects to boot, sound goes to Sega.
Super Nintendo's gameplay is tight.
The gameplay is like a 2D shooter. You play as Robocop, shooting your way through various enemies. There's also a lot of platform elements as well. Lots of jumping, climbing, and scaling. You can hold up to 2 guns at the same time. There are a lot of guns available, And as I said before, there's a 3D shooter level thrown in for variety.
Yeah, I would be worried, but Sega's better.
Sega also plays like a 2D shooter with platforming elements. As Robocop, you shoot through enemies and levels that make you jump, climb, and scale. You can also have up to 2 guns, with many guns available. You can even change the direction of certain bullets. How cool is that? There's no 3D stage here. The main difference between these two games is that the Sega game is actually fun.
What? You can't just say that.
I just did.
Your game's fun. That's fine. Let's see how fun it really is.
Sega has a major problem with its boss battles. They just take forever to kill. Some bosses take so long, it's impossible to beat them without pausing the game for a few minutes to rest.
That's it? Boss battles are supposed to be tough. Now I'll gladly explain why the Sega game's so much more fun.
The Sega game's faster and action-packed. You can plow through enemies like a Contra game. The Super Nintendo is slower and tedious. Some enemies take forever to kill. If you're in a bad spot, they keep respawning, and all of your work is for nothing. In Sega, you get hit a lot, but that's okay because the game is generous. It gives you lots of items to replenish your life. In Super Nintendo, you get hit a lot, and then you die. The game is very skimpy with giving out health. Also, in Sega, when you die, you respawn right where you died. In Super Nintendo, you start from the beginning of the level. Some of these levels are ridiculously long. Sega game has its challenges, but it isn't cheap. Super Nintendo, on the other hand, is so difficult, even with passwords and even Game Genie, you'd still be hard-pressed to get through some of these levels.
Who doesn't like a good challenge?
That's not a good challenge, that's an overly difficult challenge, and it's tedious.
Yeah, like your boss battles aren't tedious.
How can you even compare the two?
Hey, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, how about a warning or something? You might not believe
Yes, you're a Terminator from the future, that's why you're here and naked.
Terminator. Future. I was told this is a sex party location.
No party here.
Yeah, and if you're not a Terminator, what's with the funny voice?
Funny voice. This is how I talk. If there's no sex party here, then I will see myself out. Unless you do. Maybe.
No, we're good.
Anyways.
With gameplay that's fast-paced, action-packed, and actually fun, gameplay goes to Sega.
After playing both games back to back, Robocop vs Terminator on the Sega Genesis is the better game.
It may not have the best presentation, but it's darker, more bloody, and has more realistic graphics. Music and sound effects are excellent. The gameplay has the enjoyable experience of a Contra game. The Super Nintendo game is slower, more tedious, and a less forgiving game overall. The difficulty is so high, only truly hardcore gamers could appreciate it. The best Robocop vs Terminator game goes to Sega Genesis.
Man, those guys were weird.
Yeah, everybody knows Terminators don't exist.
Thanks for watching our latest video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Special thanks to everyone who suggested Robocop vs Terminator. Seriously, there were a lot of you. But keep leaving those suggestions for us, and we will get to them. Did we miss anyone? Also, join us on Facebook or Twitter. Yeah?